This is who I was, but it's definitely not who I am. Welcome to Vegas Prison Stories. Alright YouTube, here we go. Somebody had left a comment asking if I would talk about parole. I haven't talked about parole really. I mean, maybe in my lives a little bit, but I've never really told a story about the parole process, for me at least. So let's dive into that. So I've been on some sort of parole or probation like 3 or 4 times in my life. I've never once finished a parole except for this last time. Every other time was the same. I would show up to the parole office, check in basically, and that'd be the last time they saw me. I wouldn't give them the time of day. Catch me when you can, I'm absconding. I'm out of here, bro. I ain't got time for you. Pee in your cup, bro. No, that's not for me. So on my last parole, they gave it to me in absentia. They sent the parole packet to me. I filled it out, in my cell. Hey, I don't want parole. It would have only been, maybe 7 or 8 more months to clean up that entire sentence and be done. I wouldn't owe anybody anything. But their thought is, if we put him on parole, that's 13 more months we can keep him under our thumb, and he'll probably mess up. We'll take a stack time from him, and then, we'll get another 10 or 12 months out of him that way. I mean, they're dirty. They're super dirty when it comes to that. If somebody says, I don't want parole, that should be the end of that. They just shouldn't get parole. I get it. They need those beds for the new people that they're bringing in all the time. It is what it is. So I get my parole. I find out that I'm being paroled, and then I'm sent to the level 3 over at Southern Desert. I was there, I don't know, maybe 45 days, 60 days, 90 days, something like that. A very short period of time, a few months. My last day, they wake you up. They pop the door, and that's basically your alarm to wake up. They don't, call you down the hall or any of that. So they pop my door. I'm ready to go. I jump down, shoot everything to Junior, give him a hug, tell him goodbye, and they take me out of there. They take you to the intake, the reception, and we sit in this cell. I wouldn't even call it a cell. It's like a bullpen. So we're sitting in this bullpen, and it's taking forever. I figured we'd have been out of there. I mean, they woke me up. The sun wasn't even up. It had to have been 4 or 5 in the morning. Take us all down there. We're just sitting there, thumbs up our butts. They're checking everything. They don't want you. You can't take the jacket. You can't take, I think they confiscated our IDs even, which is wild. That's my ID. I paid for it, basically. So we wait around. Come 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we're still sitting there. I don't know what was going on. Usually from my other parole at least, we were out of there real quick. I was home before dinner. That's a fact. Everybody gets chained up. Everybody's tense. You don't know if you still got warrants or anything like that. I was known for having warrants everywhere. It didn't matter. City, Henderson, I'll take the ticket. I'll sign right now. You'll never see me again, but I'll sign that ticket. That was my get down. The whole time I'm worried, man, you probably got a warrant in city or something stupid like that. Or there's this other 12-month sentence that I was doing that was running concurrent for a gross misdemeanor that I had taken in a different court case. So I didn't know. I didn't know if I was going home. I didn't know if I was going to city. I didn't know if I was going to county. It's one of those, hey, let's just find out when we get there kind of moments. I'm going to Vegas. That's a fact. So they take us to the parole and probation office. We all get out. We're all steel belly chained and shackled. They start taking it all off. Now, P&P, they were already closed by the time we got there. So we roll up, they hand us this little slip. Hey, check in with your PO, call this number basically. Here's your street money, the little debit card that they give you. We'll see you when we see you. Have a good one, go fuck yourself. All right, cool, I'm out of here. Now don't think it didn't cross my mind. Man, I should just abscond. I had just done 10 months on a parole violation. Why do another 10 months? Especially when it is 13 months of parole. It was supposed to be like 12 months, but it ended up being like 13, 14 months at the end. So we get this card. You know, I call up who I call up. Hey, come get me. I'm free. I go and I meet up with A-Train right away. Meet up with him at the bar. It's time to get drunk. Now, drinking is a big no-no. Drugs, any of that. And if you don't like to be piss tested, if you don't like to pee in front of another man while he's literally looking at your junk the whole time, don't go on parole. I mean, that's how that's going to be. This is the first time I had found out in over 10 years of doing crime, though. I had no clue. I've never shown up. This is my first actual time I've tried to program. So I go see my PO. And my PO, the first thing he says is, I'm putting you back in prison. Now, I know why he said this. When I had gotten arrested on the violation, they had been hunting me because I ran so that I wouldn't testify in Donnie's case. They had been hunting me for like a year and a half. When they caught up to me, I slammed one of his partners onto the hood of their car and tried to run and made him tase me. It would piss myself. It was all bad. It was a fun time though. So I know why he was saying this. He looks at my record. He sees that, you know, I did what I did. I've always absconded. That's who I am. Cool, whatever. He says, you're going back. I'm like, no, I'm not. You just don't understand. Like this time, I'm not going back. It is what it is. There are a few times I should have gone back though. And we'll get to those here in a minute. So he's on me tough. As soon as I get out, I have these friends. They run a poker league in Nevada called the Nevada Poker League. They give me a job right away dealing, like immediately. I think I had a job within a week of being out. The problem is this poker league is held in bars around town. My PO was not too cool with it, but it's employment. I told him, look, I have a bar background. If I'm not going to be in a poker league dealing cards or something like that, I'm going to be working at a bar or a restaurant. It is what it is. That's what I do when I'm not stealing cars. So he comes around on it, but he would just show up out of nowhere. And the problem is the people that were playing cards knew that I like Jaeger bombs, and they would just tip me in Jaeger bombs, you know, like 2-3 of them every game, and they would have 3-4 games a night. So I mean, I would get in deep. Here he come walking in, and I'm trying to, I would have people at the table. I'd have a Jaeger bomb sitting next to me, and they would just slide it over in front of them. They knew what time it was. The customers all knew. Nope, there's Rick's PO right there. And I'm trying to hold it together. I would never get up. I'd just be like, hey, what's up? You know, playing it real cool. And he never went too far with it and said, hey, get up, come talk to me. I need to piss test you. Or else I would have popped dirty right then and there. Now, I did leave the bar one night. I mean, I'd probably done 10 Jaeger bombs. I live down the street. Fuck it, I'm driving home. Don't do that. It's a horrible, horrible thing. As you can see what's going on with Henry Ruggs, Marshawn Lynch, it's all bad. But I did it. I get pulled over. I don't get pulled over for driving funny or nothing. I get pulled over because it's my cousin's car and she's got a warrant. So this cop's, hey, whose car is this? Oh, it's my cousin's car. He makes me take the breathalyzer. I blew like a .04. I don't know how. That's half the legal limit, so I was okay. But it just didn't make any sense to me. I'd had so many Jaeger bombs. I guess the bartender was just feeding me more Red Bull than Jaeger at some point or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I passed that. But as one of my conditions, I'm not allowed to drink. Now that cop is going to tell my PO. My PO's going to see that I got pulled over. He's also going to see that I blew a .04. So I have to get ahead of it. I leave a message. Hey man, I just got pulled over. I blew a .04. We're talking, this is 4 or 5 months into my parole. That's why they extended it 2 more months at the end. He could have just sent me away right then and there. But I'd been doing everything I was supposed to. I kept employment. He didn't know that I was drinking at a job, you know, or any of that. I was paying my restitution. I was paying my fines. I was caught up on everything. I didn't have any warrants. I went and got my driver's license for the first time because that was a big thing. They wouldn't let me get my driver's license because I had stolen cars and run from the cops. But now I'm 30 years old. I'm allowed to get my driver's license. So I do. I did all of that. I showed up every time, on time, ready to pee every time. Finally, about 7 months in, he stops piss testing me. It couldn't have come at a better time. I was out with A-Train and our boy I don't know, we'll just call him D Nuts, because that dude is crazy as shit. The waitresses will walk by, or the bartenders, and he caws at them like they're fucking birds. He calls grown men cunts. It's ridiculous. He mumbles it though. It gets us in a ton of fights, but I love him. I absolutely, he calls the slot machines goblins. It's insane. This dude has his own language. He's kind of spacey, but super cool, and I love him to death. So we're out one night drinking with him. He tells us, hey, I need a little bit of that booger sugar. All right, D, we got you, bro. Get him the booger sugar, of course. We're drunk. I don't like it, but I like the way it smells. So I went ahead and did me a little bit of that too. Next day, my PO actually shows up. I think I'm done. He's gonna piss test me right now. I'm done. Like, there's no way it's out of my system. We're talking, this was like 6 hours after doing it, or stopping doing it. It was insane. That was a crazy night. We've had plenty of those though. He doesn't piss test me. I couldn't believe it. How do you... It was the first time he had not piss tested me. And had he done it, I was going back to prison, 100%. So that's when I knew he was kind of letting up on me. You know, we're 6-7 months in. He sees, for the most part, I'm doing what I'm supposed to. And he lets up on me. He actually starts to be kind of cool to me. That was a big thing for me. Because at first, I hated this dude and he hated me. And we let it be known to each other. He would talk shit to me. Tattoos and, oh, you're one of them. You're one, you know, like, get out of here, bro. I get it. So I'm with a girl at the time. I had been with her for quite a bit of time. Way before I'd gotten arrested or any of that. It didn't work out between the two of us. That's whose house I had paroled to. So I end up leaving. I end up leaving the house and I never talked to her again. And that's a shitty thing. It is what it is. Things went down the way they went down, and it is what it is. I didn't tell my PO. I had met another woman, the woman I'm married to, and I had moved in with her. So my PO calls me, and we're talking a couple of weeks. I had been out of that house. He hadn't come by. He had stopped coming over. He says, hey, did you leave your residence? I said, yeah, man. I said, I was just about to call you. You know, the old checks in the mail, bro. Yeah. What a coincidence. I was just dialing your number. I tell him, yeah, I left, man. And I got more news for you, buddy. I married some chick I just met. He starts laughing. By now, you know, we're only a few months from the end of my parole. Me and him, we're on a cool basis. He starts laughing. He says, hey, you need to watch out for that ex. She's going to put a hit on you, bro. I'm like, get out of here. He's like, no. She called me talking about he's doing this, he's with this person, he's doing this. It's all bad. Like, I'd gotten pulled over with A-Train, but we were working together as dealers for this league. And A-Train's an ex-felon, and A-Train is an ex-co-defendant of mine in multiple cases. So when we get pulled over and I'm on parole, I'm like, oh, this is it for sure. I just got caught with my ex-felon buddy, my old code D, but we told him, hey man, look, and they took A-Train for drinking and driving. It was all bad. Like, I just had to start walking down the damn street because they were taking my buddy to jail on a DUI. But my mind, I was just worried about my PO. I didn't even say nothing to my PO. He's the one who brought that up to me though. And I told him, hey, we worked together. He was giving me a ride home, and that was it. He didn't have to know that A-Train was, you know, living with me at the time. He didn't need to know any of that. So there was many times I should have gone back. I had luck, the PO coming around on me. You know, I grow on people. Probably half my subscribers had to watch like 3 or 4 videos before they get over the whole way I am. And they're just like, I don't even mind this guy. He's kind of cool. He makes me laugh at least. Imagine being my PO. Don't let me crack a joke one time on you, PO. I'm gonna be doing it every time now, boy. You gonna be laughing. My fucking foot's falling asleep right now doing this. I need my studio back. This is garbage. So finally, I get off parole. I get my rights back, the ones that they give you back at least. I can vote. I could run for office. Better watch out. Might end up running for president or something. I don't know. Might get 3 votes. And so on and so on. So we get all my rights back. The instant I get off parole, I leave Las Vegas. That's it. I know what these cops, they all know who I am. It got to the point where they would pull me over and they would just start searching my car. Like when I was on parole, there's nothing I could do about it. They were tearing the panels off. Is this one stolen too? Oh, you didn't. Oh, this is yours. Oh, it's your wife's. No, Are there drugs in here? Seems like there are. Can we search your vehicle? You're on parole. You can't say no. They would just tear it apart. So I was getting the message, Metro. You want me to leave? Fine. I don't want to be here no more. I'll take off. See you later, motherfuckers. It's the best thing I ever did in my life. And I've lived in a lot of different cities since then. We've gone to LA. We've gone to Phoenix. Obviously, we were in Vegas. We've gone to Houston. Now we're in Tampa. I mean, I'm all over the place. But I like it. For the first time in my life, I'm living a good life. And I never had that. I mean, I was living the dream. If you're a criminal, like we were doing the most. But I never had it like this. This is amazing. If you're ever on parole, I would just say do it and then get the hell out of there. Pack your stuff up and leave. It's pretty easy, actually. You'd be amazed. So there's parole. That's the only parole I ever did. I never finished drug court. Nancy Glass, she tried to give me drug court. Didn't have it. Gave me time for it. I've had one probation and I absconded on that immediately. I've had 2 paroles. One I absconded on, one I finished, but on the same case. I've been paroled twice on the same case. And that's it. Officer Wright, I'm sure you're retired by now. If you're out there, I mean, thanks for giving the guy a chance. Every time I got pulled over by the cops doing something stupid when I was on parole, I was like, yeah, if I go away, I go away. But it hurts when they take your stack time away from you, your good time. They will. They'll nail you with it. All right, well, that's it. In this sorry-ass Airbnb, no glorious Diamondbacks, none of that. We're just here trying to make videos at this point and strip down. This is Vegas Prison Stories Unplugged, I guess. This is garbage. This sucks so bad. I think we found a house, though. Should be in a couple of weeks. We'll see. Until then, you're going to see this sorry backdrop. I'm going to take thumbtacks and run them through this guy's wall, man. I can't take it. I can't take it. Thank you for coming to Vegas Prison Stories. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. What did you flip them off for, Rick? Don't be stupid. God. You're flipping these. My bad. Girl, you know I was just saying that shit to get you mad. Come on, don't be like that. Arr. What are you doing? That's definitely getting cut out. Did you just tiger growl at your audience? What the fuck is wrong with you, Rick? You are not all. You're spare parts. You really are. You're built of spare parts, Rick. See you next time. This is who I was, but it's definitely not who I am. Welcome to Vegas Prison Stories.